So a while ago, I asked my community to ask me some questions on Discord regarding Wuthering Waves so we could take some time on stream to answer all of them. And so with that, they asked some very, very, very nice questions. Let me know if you want more videos like this in the future. My Discord link is in the description. So let's go ahead and get right into what those answers were. Let's see over here what is in this amazing channel. When are you getting married? I'm not answering that one. What should my UL be to clear the endgame? I think people can start clearing the endgame when they're like UL level 50. I think that if your characters are like level 80, you should have a decent chance of clearing the end game with like 8 out of 10 on your skills. I don't think you need to be 60 straight up to clear everything, but I think 50 should be enough. Ling Yang guide when? Literally never. Would you be against a substat selector as level 70 rewards? I think that they can eventually come out with a substat selector, potentially in the future, or maybe even now if they really wanted to. I think that everyone should get one for free every patch if that is going to happen. So I wouldn't be against it, no. Is my account bricked? How is anyone supposed to judge the state of this account? The more of these will come out eventually. So I guess you spent them all on shell credits for some fucking reason instead of stuff that actually matters. I don't think it's bricked because it's not like they're gonna stop doing holograms. Do you think you should be able to turn 5-star echoes into tubes? No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to be able to turn 5-star echoes into tubes. Anyone that asks that does not know how like gacha games and like gear economy and then player retention works. Because as we've said over and over and over again, being able to turn unleveled echoes into echo experience would just cause people to burn the fuck out. It would just burn the fuck out because they're like, oh my gosh, I need to make sure that I'm like farming like 300 mobs every day and then turning them into like 5 gold tubes, and then because if I don't do that, I'm gonna fall behind. Oh my gosh, there's so much to do in this game. I'm just gonna quit. Wonder if they would reverse censorship now that MFs got exposed. Probably not. Should I farm the new arrow set for future fleur-de-lis? I mean, it's currently not usable. I imagine that the question mark we're seeing over here is probably gonna have to be for somebody. I guess you'll just see in 2.3, if it says Kachona over here, then yeah, I guess it's for her. But if Kachona isn't on there, well, I wonder who it's for. If this Resonator is Rover, Arrow, or question mark. Arrow over guide when he's not a piece of steaming dog shit. That is a complete waste of resources. I'll make an Air Rover guide when he's actually worth building. I don't see a reason to make a guide for a character when they are currently not actually playable. When they're literally one of the worst units in the game and they can only improve with time, I'm probably not going to make a guide for them when they're literally at the lowest state they will be in the game. Hey Saint, I made the same take with this in the WuWa server, and I want to ask you this. Do you think they should add islands in the sky in previous regions so they can have a reason for flying in the game? Probably not. I think the take that a lot of people have had is each region's gonna have its own gimmick when it comes to exploration. Renesita's gimmick is flying, right? And a lot of people think, oh, then maybe in like the new Federation, right? Which is, I think it was teased to be the next region, the new Federation. It's like, okay, then maybe we have like Spider-Man swinging between like buildings and stuff. And like, that's the gimmick over there. As long as there's like a different gimmick for each region, I don't think it's like a big deal. By the way, if one doesn't have the signature weapon, what should be the ideal crit ratio? Just use a crit rate forecast and you'll just have less crit damage. It'll probably be like, I don't know, like 70-210, 70-200, 70-230. Do you think Team B should remove unlimited echo farming and make it extremely limited so that players come back, since quick gear gathering seems to be bad according to you? Do I just ban this guy from my Discord? WuWa should capitalize on min-picking demographic by making echo farming as stress-free or brilliant as an activity as possible, by adding echo tracking by set and marking all track TDs on the map and mini-map. I'm pretty sure I've already talked about this as like a quality of life buff suggestion. Do you think removing tuners is a good idea? Probably not at this point in the game. I think it's like a little bit too complicated to work out. Is there a character you regret having pulled? In other words, is there a kit you don't like at all of the limited 5 stars? Cantarella. Should I pull Cantarella for Jinsei? Currently using Yinlin for her, or would S1 Shorekeeper be better? Cantarella is going to be better than Yinlin for Jinsei. 100%. But if you already have Jeja, probably not that big of a deal, but you clearly don't have Jeja if you're using Yinlin with her, so Cantarella will be an improvement. When are you gonna do viewer clears again, Unk? That was fun to watch. We're gonna be real here. I feel like the viewer clears aren't that challenging right now. I feel like they aren't that challenging right now, especially in WuWa. I'm gonna be real. If you can't clear WuWa right now with like a 4.5, I highly suggest you like try. I highly suggest you try. I feel like WuWa right now is like quite easy to get a 4.5k, even without like any of the meta characters. Is there anyone that is struggling with WuWa at the moment? Me, for some reason? Holy shit. I guess, okay, I guess there are people. I guess there are people that are struggling. Fascinating. Okay, maybe we'll check that out later. I have both Cantarella and Camellia, but have neither weapon. Which weapon should I pull for? Well, Camellia works fine on EOG. Cantarella's weapon is okay, but it's like, it's not like it makes her like the best character ever. I would just say, maybe just wait if you're already performing fine. If Saint is the #1 Kurobot, then why isn't his map exploration all 100%? I like to take my time with good content. Hey guys, is Jinxie's resonant skills considered mid-air attacks? Yeah, she's in the air. Why is the chat so based? Chat reflects the streamer. What would be a good team for a Chisha main? I've just been slamming together Chisha, SK, and Sanhua. Give Chisha somebody that buffs resonance skill damage or resonance liberation damage, because that's where most of her damage is. Chisha does not that much basic attack damage. When is the oiled up... Go fuck yourself. When did you shoot your video game debut? That like doesn't even look like me. Who the fuck posted this? Mods, you know exactly what to do. Did WuWa become easier? Because I did 8-5-30 while blasting music and not paying attention at all. While the previous resets, I would do like 5k in the same way. Yeah, I think WuWa's gotten easier for sure. That guy has a better hairline than you. How can we consistently track resonance skill energy? You mean resonance liberation energy? You just go in game and then you can see it over here. You'll see when it's ready. I will admit, the fact that you can't see your resonance liberation energy until it's full, I'm pretty sure Kuro could do something where it's like you have like a second gauge. But yeah, you actually can't see your resonance liberation energy unless it's full. As you'll see over here, boom, and you don't see it anymore. You can see it when it's full on the side. I want to pull Shorekeeper, but I have only one copy of Variation, which I'm using on Verena. Should I get Shorekeeper's signature weapon, or is there some other weapon I can use on her or Verena? If that's the case, I would recommend putting the Variation on Shorekeeper and then giving Verena like either Call of the Abyss or Rectifier number 25. Probably the best bet for you is to just get lucky and pull a second Variation. I don't recommend anybody ever syntonize a Variation copy unless they have a second one that they're keeping at S1, and then you level up both of them to like level 90. I think that's like definitely the way to go to have like the most efficient sort of like progression. Only syntonize a Variation if you have another leveled copy, because it's just that good. Do you think looking at Arrow Rover's kits, negative status effects are going to enable quick swap even more? Yeah, yeah, it's just unfortunately Arrow Rover has no partners right now. What's Phoebe's best in slot main slot echo? I'm pretty sure both of them are okay. You can use the Nightmare Morning Ikes or you can use Capitano. Either of them work just fine. Nightmare Morning Ikes does more damage, but Capitano has better passive bonuses. Why is Havoc Rover so high on the Pride Win tier list? He feels clunky AF to play compared to Yao, who has more utility than Havoc Rover, and Camellia, who covers AoE more than Havoc MC. I just can't see how he's on the same tier as these characters. I guess Havoc Rover does deal like a pretty decent amount of damage. They have like the free crit rate, and they can have like some wild stats. And they're one of the easier to build characters in the game. And all the comparisons that Pridewin does are done at S0R0, not S0R1. And a lot of characters lose quite a bit of effectiveness when they're at S0R0. And their S6 is free. That's why. How could they add a gimmick to 1.0 regions to make exploration better? I guess this is the thing. The 1.0 exploration is legitimately, like, not that bad. Everybody talks about it like 1.0 exploration is like dragging your balls over, like, glass shards. It's, like, genuinely not that bad. It's actually, like, fine. It's like the opposite of rose-tinted glasses, where everyone's just saying, oh my, this is the worst thing ever. I can like run up walls and go everywhere I want. This is terrible. If it was that bad, people would be complaining about it in 1.0. You guys do realize that, right? If it was legitimately that bad, people would have been making videos about how dog shit the exploration is in 1.0. And instead, all people have done is just say that 1.0 was the best exploration experience in gacha gaming. That was the take on 1.0 exploration. It was the best exploration experience we've ever had in a gacha game. Literally, that's all everybody said. I'm not even joking. I don't know anybody that had critiques for 1.0 exploration until 2.0 came out. Yeah, it's literally just recency bias. I always have a shit ton of tuners and I keep running out of tubes. What do I keep doing wrong? Well, you're probably leveling up everything to plus 25. I have Camellia, Yinlin, Jinxie, or Chang Li. Who do you think is better, getting Zhang Li Yao or String Master? Probably String Master. SK S0 to S2 or Camellia S4 to S6? I mean, you could just pull different characters as well. Okay, I guess if you're trying to get the most bang for your buck in terms of team potential, probably S2 SK is better because she can work on that Camellia team that you're talking about and also work on every other team, and you're clearly interested in destroying the balance of your game by dealing absurd amounts of damage. So yeah, I'd probably S2 SK. I am skipping SK for Kachona and Kartithia. Is this a good idea? Skipping SK is probably not a good idea. Also, who should I build for WuWa? I have Carlotta, Jinxie, Peeb, Jeja, and you have the worst WuWa characters on the fucking roster. You literally have the worst Whimpering Waste characters on the roster. I'm not even joking. Like, holy shit. The best is probably Carlotta and Jeja, but yeah, that's gonna leave you with, like, Jinxie and Phoebe on the other side. I'd rather literally play Havoc Rover than those two. What is the best DPS unit in the game? In terms of, like, versatility, it's probably Camellia or Gian. If you're looking for the best bosser in the game for, like, TOA and holograms, it's definitely Carlotta. Guys, I still don't think Carlotta is, like, that good in Whimpering Waste, but I guess on this reset, it is fucking easy. So, with it being this easy, yeah, it's probably Carlotta. As long as you have a pulse and, like, a built Carlotta, you should be able to clear with, like, 4.5k minimum. Say, you look a lot like my uncle. I still remember when I was a baby wearing diapers. I carried him and fed milk to my unk.
Are you his uncle?
I'm gonna pretend I didn't read that. Do you recommend building Mortivi if I don't have Gian? Unless you plan on using him in some weird Phoebe team, probably not. Or unless you plan on using, like, DPS Rosia, probably not, no. Because there's just not a lot of heavy attackers in the game. Why does your room look like a prison cell? Send a photo of yours, bro. How to unfreeze myself faster? I keep clicking A and D very fast. Wait, are you talking about, like, the freeze mechanic in WuWa? Yeah, I mean, you just click A and... I mean, I don't know what else you can do. You just click the screen prompts. I believe I have made some suboptimal decisions on my WuWa account. I would appreciate some help to make the best of my choices right now. Could you tell me which characters I should aim to pull to make the best use of the ones I currently have? I'm not entirely satisfied with how things are at the moment. SK is a must pull. I also don't have variation, and I'm not sure how to get it. So should I pull for her weapon, or would it be better to use Call of the Abyss instead? But that would leave my Verena without a weapon. Also, I pulled Cantarella for no apparent reason because of Techie, and now I am not happy with that decision. Also, I pulled Cantarella for no apparent reason because of Techie, and now I am not happy with that decision. Yeah, that's a bit rough, buddy boy. Cantarella is a little bit of a sussy unit. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think anyone can call WuWa particularly predatory when they released a character like her. I'm not gonna lie. I've kind of been, like, forcing myself to use her. She is never, like, my go-to pick in any situation. I feel like that's kind of like a universal take for almost everybody. They kind of just, like, use her and they're like, okay, it's like, nice. I now have a more complicated version of Jeja. And I guess the results can be about 3 to 5% better. There are a couple of questions that I have here when I look at this. A, why do we have Chang Li? Like, what is she, I guess, what is she doing on the account? Chang Li without Brant kind of just doesn't, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like she kind of just feels like shit. I feel like Chang Li without Brant kind of feels like shit. You've got two teams you can use after you pull SK. You've got Camellia, SK, and Sanhua. And then you've got Verena, Rover, Phoebe. Those are kind of like your two teams that you should go for. And when it comes to the variation situation, you can think about pulling Shorekeeper's weapon if you don't have variation. You could also just make the craftable weapon Rectifier number 25. That has the same exact energy regen main stat that Call of the Abyss has. It's about 52% ER. You can make that one instead. Just keep it at R1 and then go from there. Unfortunately, it's going to be a bit of a resource waste. It is what it is. And then once you pull variation, you can just go from there. Your Shorekeeper's rotation is going to kind of feel like dog ass without any concerto boosting equipment. Storekeeper's rotation is kind of slow. Try to weave in like some dodges, I guess. And yeah, I'm gonna be real here. You let your penis decide your pulls for you instead of like what is like actually helpful or like good to play on your account. I'm gonna be real here. These two characters are probably gonna gather dust for like the next like 5 months. You can use Chang-Li and Cantarella together in WuWa. Yeah, that's true. Cantarella and Chang-Li on one side and then just Camellia on the other. Yeah, that'll work in WuWa. It's a good thing Kuro added Whimpering Wastes because that makes like a main DPS style Chang-Li actually somewhat useful. But in the TOA, yeah, this team is fucking cooked. Chang-Li Encore. Chang-Li Encore is just worse than Sanhua Encore. So I can never make that recommendation to any person. Ever. Is this good enough to be the top 1%?
Plan with convention, then conquer by ingenuity.
Yeah, she's still a support. The stats might be crazy, but you gotta recognize Brandt's doing all the damage in that team. I genuinely feel like Giga investing in a Chang-Li build is like not really a good thing to do because all of that investment that you're doing in the Chang-Li's build, it's just better to direct that investment into her partner's build. Like investing in her partner yields like 50 to 75% more returns than investing in her in the team. And so I recommend in like a Chang-Li team, invest in like her dual DPS partner first and then invest in her and you'll probably get better results overall. And I'm saying this as somebody that has been playing Chang-Li every day since Brandt came out. Who's your favorite character in WuWa based on the story? That's a little bit rough. That's hard to say. I feel like I need to see more of the story first. Is there any good 4-star Broadblade option for Zani? Well, she's a Gauntlet user, so yeah. Why Kuro Rectifier user so much? Also, why Pure Water so empty? Also, which 5-star weapon to pull? Probably shouldn't be complaining about so many Rectifier users because that just means more String Master users. Why is Pure Water so empty? I feel like there's a decent amount of stuff to do there. Also, which 5-star weapon to pull? I have 2 EOG, The Last Dance, Carlotta Sig, Jinsei Sig, and Cosmic Rip Pearls. I don't know, like for a character that you want? Like, I don't know who's on your account. Probably get String Master because he's so many Rectifier users. Besides Sanhua, who's the next best 4-star support that I should invest in? It literally depends on your roster. A lot of these questions depend on your roster. Like, I'm not able to like fucking mind control you and know who's on your account. I could say pull String Master, but that's a dog shit idea if you have no 5-star Rectifier wielders. String Master is probably the highest value weapon in the game, but it's not if you don't have any Rectifier users. Would it be better to go for crit and crit damage in the first 3 substats or get usable stats and pray to RNGesus? If you have a lot of Echo Tubes, you can pray to RNGesus, but if you don't, it's probably a good idea to abandon within the first 3. Will we see more PGR content from you? Maybe. That's all of the questions for this one. Hope you all enjoyed it, and make sure to join my Discord if you want me to answer. Peace.